Well, hey, we made it. Yes, indeed. Yes. And when I say we made it, it's been one of those days. We all have them. And I'm grateful for our guest that's so flexible and just, does whatever she can to support us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And you can't. And so I'm going to tell you something, like always. I want to thank all those folks that have been following us along and supporting us and subscribing and sharing our message across different platforms, Facebook, Instagram, StreamYard. I mean, just all those things. And then all the other little podcast sessions that are out there. So thank you very much for that. We appreciate the love, and being part of this community is so important to us. So thank you all for your support. And all you new folks that are going to join us as we close out this third quarter going into the fourth quarter, we welcome you to the Community Conversations with Geoff. We hope you stop in and get connected, get comfortable, and start to participate. Hey, guys, I'm so-and-so from this part of the country, this part of the world, because this is a global reach that we have, right? And you being a part of it is very, very important to us. We don't take that lightly because there's so many places you could be, so many things that you could be doing. We know that when you stop in and hang out with us here at Conversations with Geoff, it means something. And we want you to know we understand that, and we appreciate that deeply, right? So just a kind of reminder, if this is your first session, I really encourage you to go back and look through, some of the other sessions. We've had speakers from all different backgrounds, all different professions, and they all come with a common message, right? And that common message is around that desire to step into the power of the comeback, right? Because life is about comeback, man. Life is about finding things in your path that pop up sometimes, whether it's in personal relationships or in business or in health or community, just things show up. And then what do you do, right? What are you prepared to do? What kind of mindset process are you following? And I got to tell you, for me, a lot of times it was the stinking thinking that would pop up early on in my life. I mean, long time ago, right? I mean, I've been doing this for a while now. And it would say that old messaging that comes up. Hey, man, who do you think you are? I'm thinking you're going to become an NFL football player. What's that message about? Who do you think you are? And, whatever that might be for you. I know I'm not the only one that has that messaging going on, right? And that's part of that stinking thinking we talk about here at Conversations with Geoff. So I want you to know that it doesn't have to be that way. We are blessed as human beings. Check this out. As human beings, man, we are blessed with the gift of discernment. We are blessed with the power to understand intentionality. As my wife said on a show a couple of weeks ago, you got to go back and check that out. It was a powerful show with Stephanie and her husband and Walt and McKinney, and they just laid it out. And then my wife joined us. So go back and check that out, man. It was amazing. It was impromptu, and so enough being said about that. You can tell how important she is to me, right? So anyway, I just wanted to. We were really talking about the power of the comeback, and I did a show earlier Tuesday, and you want to check it out about finding your purpose. All those things fit. Right? Because listen, when you start talking about finding your purpose, when you start talking about taking that next step, when you start talking about pushing yourself, guess what happens? Life shows up, and then that whole challenge about, can I do this? What makes me think I can do this? My friends told me there's no way I can do this, right? You guys get the message on, right? And so I'm telling you these things, man, because that's how life goes. And we want you to be equipped. We want you to think about these next 3 things I'm going to say to you. All you have to do is become aware of what you're saying to yourself, what you're doing at night when you're up your day. Are you going back through and thinking about all the things that went well in your day, all the things that you helped people with in the day? Or are you thinking about all the things that are dragging you down, running in your head, right? And then when you wake up in the morning, what is it that's running? I mean, we can tell you, we know what's running. That same thing, whatever you pour in, you get out in your life. Whatever conversation you're having between yourself and self, you get out, right? So it's just not magic. It's stuff you got to just work on, man. So we get excited because we know it works. So become aware of the conversation. Hit the pause button. Stop it. Put the brakes on. Right? One of my mentors talks about cancel as part of resetting yourself. It works. Try that word. It really, really works. And then replace it. Rewind and replace it. The common things we talk about all the time is, I can't do that. I think so, or maybe, right? So next time, say, I can do that. Next time, instead of maybe, say, I will do this. Next time you're thinking about, I must do this. Three things. It's magic. It works. That's why I keep talking about it to you each and every time on this show, because that stuff works and you can do it right now and change the way you're doing, how your life's going, right? So anyhow, whoo, I want to just, by the way, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Geoff Tyson, and I'm known as the Comeback King. And I got that name not only from what my life has been, but from other people that I've helped over the last 30 years, the hundreds of people that have talked to me and said, man, Geoff, thank you for helping me get out of my own way. Thank you for helping me understand the power of my messaging. Thank you for just listening to me. So if you're in that space and you're looking for someone that can help you with those things, that help you come through the comeback on the other side, baby, and get the messaging that you're supposed to get, the lessons you're supposed to get in that process, I'm your guy. So you want to make sure you reach out and talk to me, right? So anyway, let's get to while we're here. Schedules are all crazy, and I want to just for a moment, our guest has been here before. She's done some tremendous things since the last time she's been here. Prior to getting here, she's a well-known author, a writer, a speaker, a coach around helping folks find their path and later on in life. She will talk about that a little bit. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, our guest, pure tea service, loves to help people, loves to show up and do what she has to do to be part of someone else's life, to make it a better world. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring back to Conversations with Geoff, our guest and my dear friend, Terri Liggins. Hey, Terri.
Wow. I was having a great time listening to you. I'm like, okay, show's over now.
No, it's just beginning. It's just beginning, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love coming here and visiting with you because you have, you know what? It's your attitude. You have the best attitude always. And they say hard work is best, but I believe that hard work is good if you don't have knowledge.
Yeah.
But neither knowledge or hard work can beat out attitude.
Thank you.
That's what you have, my friend. So I was enjoying listening to everything.
Well, I appreciate that, Terri. And back at you, your attitude and your desires to serve and always just making yourself available. So we really appreciate you doing that. And thank you for being here. So,
Of course.
So this, it's been a minute. We were talking before the show came out, and you were talking about some really powerful things, and so I guess I got to ask, really, because I know you've been doing a couple things the last 6 months or something. What's been the most popular thing that you're too humble to talk about? Before we get into it, because I've been watching you from a distance. I'm like, man, going cheering for you. So tell the folks what you've been up to lately, before we get started.
Okay, well, wonderful, wonderful. Well, as Geoff said, my name is Terri, and I'm known as the diva of resources because as a baby boomer in this fourth quarter of my life, I'm crushing it. I'm loving living this at this stage of the game and helping others to thrive. And instead of dying early, or instead of being sick and thriving while we're here, and then leaving a legacy when it is time for us to go. So it's not about trying to stay on this any longer than we are supposed to, but it is about being well up until that last moment, that last breath. Why can't you be nimble and full of joy and energy, and then boom, just leave? Just leave. It says we have to go through the thing that most journeys take you on, the illness, the being really not able to speak and eat, and being a burden on others. Not that the loved ones care, but that's not the way we have to go out. That's the way that modern habits tend to take people out. But we're not subscribing to that at all.
Yeah, I love that. You know, you talk about, I think I put it in there, being well up until the last moment and then just signing out.
I know, like I'm done. I'm done. That's yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And your life is kind of what led you to some of the things that you do in that arena. You know, for
Hmm.
those that may not have heard you before, I mean, there were some things in your family that kind of say, "Hey, Terry, this is for you to do." What, can you share that with the audience?
Sure, sure. When I say that I'm a diva of resources, a lot of the resources that I hone in on these days are those that serve the caregivers, the baby boomers who are caring for loved ones in their home, the elderlies directly, elderly people who may need transportation services. They may need to live in assisted living homes and communities. And no, I don't provide all of that as one person. However, I can lead individuals to the people that offer those products and services to help out in that time of need. And it's not even just elderly. If COVID didn't teach us anything, it's that at young ages that individuals need to be prepared. So when leaving a legacy, that means having everything in order, doing what you love doing, and then when you are long gone, what you're doing that is so passionate that it helps others reach the masses, it lives on.
Yeah,
You've created generational wealth.
yeah,
You've laid out a pathway for your children and your children's children, as the
yeah.
Bible says that we should do, instead
Yes.
of leaving a heap of stuff. I like how George Carlin, years and years ago, you may have heard his comedy acts, and there's one where he talks about stuff. He
Yeah.
says, all of their stuff. And then we get a house just so we can put our stuff in. Then we get a storage unit because there's so much stuff in your house, and you get a storage unit and put your stuff there.
Stuff in it. Yes.
And
Yes.
guess what? When you leave this earth, your children, your loved ones, whatever, they're going to be like, we don't want that stuff. That's
Yeah.
where it's going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Because
it's
you know you never see a U-Haul behind the hearse, right? I mean, it just
exactly.
doesn't work that way. Somebody's got to deal with the stuff and the emotions around that, and let alone the cost of doing it, the inconvenience of doing it. But how is it when you talk to people? Is it uncomfortable at first? I mean, how do you get them comfortable wanting to even listen to you and then start to engage in the conversation?
I'm used to people running away from me. Literally, figuratively, they run. Like, oh Lord, here she comes again talking about
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah,
The thing is, though, we're not leaving this earth alive. We're all going to go. And it's not about talking about morbid things and just dwelling on morbid things. It's talking about freeing yourself, just really being free, listening to the tiny voice in your head more than you listen to all the clutter that's out there. And it steers you the right way when you hone in on that. But a lot of times we're just too busy with the noise, the internet noise, the TV noise, the drama that's out there waiting to draw you in another direction. And you had asked about what I am doing these days that family had influence on, friends. And it is just really taking a look at this has been maybe like 6 or so years that I've been watching friends of mine, girlfriends of mine, having to care for their parents who have had Alzheimer's, cancer, and various things that they've had to take a shift in their career and their life to care for their parents. Why would we want to? They cared for us all those years. We were snotty nosed and dirty diapers, and we were a pain in the butt. We cost them money. We
yeah,
cost them headache and all that sort of stuff. And now it's our turn to give back. And that
yeah.
was a small voice that I heard in my head in 2019
Mm,
when I had an unction to move back to my hometown to help take care of my dad. He wasn't in any grave way. And I have siblings who live there, but they have 9 to 5 jobs. As
yeah,
a writer, I've been a writer for about 23 years now,
yeah,
and flexibility. Anywhere there's a laptop, I can write.
Yeah, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
So
I love it.
it's about knowing when it's your time, knowing that it was okay to go. I
Mm.
was I was listening and walking up first because I live in hot country. I live in where it's warm and hot.
Yeah,
It's
that's it.
300 days a year typically of sunlight. And I'm like, God, can I at least wait until after winter?
Yeah.
No. So I was to prepare and go. And I did and was so very grateful that I got
Mm.
the last 4 months of my dad's life to share with them.
Yeah. Yeah. And had you not listened to, I mean, we talk a lot about it lately about that message in the pause, right? That time
Mm.
when you're making a shift, whether it's a comeback or it's a new adventure, and
Yeah.
then all the things that are running. It's like you said, a tiny voice. I wrote it down. Battling against the noise of the news, battling against the noise of self doubt, battling against the noise of your family chattering and all those things, right? But you still did it anyway. So and the 4 months that you experienced, man, I
Yeah.
get it.
You
Oh,
can't get it back. You can't get it back.
yeah.
In fact, good or bad, think about this. What was yesterday
Mm,
or just even 5 minutes ago?
yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
go back? Can you touch it?
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
hold on to anything that happened back then except the memories?
Yeah.
And so too often people live too much in the past, the would haves, could have, should haves, the regrets,
Mm,
they're hanging on to things that who's to say it was even real? Did it even happen?
yeah.
Did it happen? Can you prove that it happened except what you're thinking in here? So if it was some bad stuff, just rewire, change
Yeah.
it, turn it around.
Yeah.
It's your story, not
Yeah.
somebody else's. Someone may say, "Oh, that's not the way it happened." How do you know?
Yeah. That's
It's
right. Yeah, it's your story, it's your message, it's your life. I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that,
So
and
hang on to the good that happened and in the form of a memory and carry it forward
yeah,
to help others, to reach out to others, to bring others up, to
yeah,
lift others up. But all of that mess back there, what is that? What
yeah,
is it about?
yeah.
Your brain can only hold so much, and it's really nothing. It's a muscle, just like your arm muscle. I
Yeah.
can work it out a little bit. I
I
got
see
ways.
that. Look, got a little cut there. That's got a few guns now.
I got ways to go, but I'm working on it. But just like this could be nothing or it could be flabby, um, your brain is the same way. People give too much,
Mm,
uh, you just
mm,
give too much credit to this brain when you say, oh, I can't do that. I can't go there. My bank account says that I can't pack up and move,
yeah, yeah,
away from
yeah,
my job. I have to
yeah.
stay at this job that I hate every day that's weighing me down and making me
Mm,
miserable. I have
mm,
to because there's nothing else out there.
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
What? That's those are the lies you're telling yourself.
Yes,
And
yes.
you can change that in an instant.
I love that, and our 2 million-year-old brain has started out. I use this example, right? As say you and I are, back in the cavemen and woman's day, and we're out there, and this big object starts walking to us, and I'm a gentleman, and I'm trained to talk to take care of the ladies, but when it's something that starts to growl and its teeth are long, and we don't know what it is.
To each his own.
I'll see you on the other side. And that brain is designed just to protect us, right? I mean, it's going
Oh,
to keep us in that safe zone, is what you're saying, you
yeah.
know. And so Steph saying hi, and Bryce and Karen stopped in and said love, and so I want to make sure we acknowledge them. And those of you that hear this message later, go back and take some notes on this stuff. So I love that we do have the ability to make a difference,
Hmm.
right? I mean,
Instantly.
instantly. Yeah.
Instantly.
Line up our mind, body, and our soul together, right? It changes our energy, changes our perspective.
Yep.
So now you're doing these things, and you mentioned that you've been writing for 23 years. What do you say to that person that says, "Oh, I want to be a writer"? but I don't know if I can. What do you say to that person?
In an instant, in an instant. Years ago, this was 2006. I
Mm,
was on a cable TV show. I was being interviewed, and I had an aha moment right then and there. At that point, I was a writer for several years a out of an illness that took me out of the workplace. Right, I could no longer work, and so I had to stay at home. But I had to turn that around. I got to stay at home instead
yeah.
of I had to stay at home because I couldn't work. Well, I got to be at home with my children. They were elementary age at that time. It was wonderful, and I turned what I loved doing as a hobby
Mm,
into a business. So I started
mm,
writing for business owners. I would write their brochures, their customer letters, and just things like that. And when on this talk show, and I was introduced as a writer or as an author, they introduced me as an author
mm,
and a writer. And I said, you know what? I have for so long denied myself that time
mm,
out
mm.
of being, because I was a little embarrassed or too humble when they
Yeah,
introduced me that way. And I'm like, because if someone asked me, oh, what have you written? I could not say that I've written anything because I was writing for other people.
yeah.
My name was not on the byline. It was someone else's article that I wrote for them. It was someone
Mm,
else's brochure. And I had to stop that. I'm like,
yeah,
I am that already. I
yeah,
am
yeah.
that. So anyone who has a message to get out there, a book to
Mm,
write, start calling yourself an author right now. If you've
yeah.
written like one paragraph, I'm an author. Look what I wrote. It's just not published yet, but that doesn't say you're not an author.
Yeah,
Again, it's tell yourself what you are to be, as the word says. Um, just call those things that be not as though they were.
yes.
God gave us the power to do that. Why aren't we doing that where everything is
Yeah.
concerned? We have dominion over all of this, especially our mind.
Yeah, yeah, I love that, and thank you for being honest and vulnerable about, you talk about the self doubt in there, and that, and
Yes.
and sometimes it's hard to hear compliments,
Oh,
from
yeah.
people, and because we are our worst critic. Would you, I mean, we talk about the battle that we have and who's the worst one that we have it with. It's generally, I'll just talk about Geoff. It's usually with me. Right? I don't know about you. I do know. I
You
know I'm
know,
the only
you
one.
know me enough now to know. Yeah, I'm
So
my worst enemy.
yeah, so and 100 folks do that, but hear what she's saying, and she began to look at it differently, say things differently to herself. I mean, and obviously, Terry, I mean, you just continuing to crush it now, and I know you're doing some great things. So, I want to make sure that people know how to get a hold of you. I mean, I know you had a few book releases, so why don't you?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know if you have them with you, but
happen to have them here. Imagine
yeah,
that. Get your raw on. This one I'm
yeah,
doing. So you can get it directly from me, but I took it down from Amazon temporarily. Get your raw on. When I started off, I never knew that uh, raw spelled backwards means or is war. So your body
whoa,
goes at war, your mind goes at war, telling you you can't do it and why you can't, why you don't deserve to be healthier. I took care of that.
mm,
And then some later books, Fix Your Gut, Fix Your Immune System, uh, writing another one, Fix Your Prostate. There's just a lot of information that is out there, and I'm just condensing it and putting it in individuals' hands. So you can go to terriliggins.com. That's Terry with an I, just like it's spelled there, liggins.com. And it'll take you to where to get the books. It'll take you to maybe a video or so of this new app that I have. Launching it soon. Soon as
hey, it's coming. The app's coming.
it is.
Yeah,
It's been a journey.
yeah,
That ties in what you had asked about earlier with the resources that I have that I'm offering to individuals. It's all housed on that app.
nice. So
Yes.
you basically can be a conduit for multiple different levels of service and they come to you, you line them up, you make the connection, and that's in addition to some of the other things that you do directly with them, right? I mean, so you got so many different things going on, Terry, and you said something. I want to make sure maybe we close with this, and it was kind of our discussion behind the scenes, and I asked you, so what's going on in your life, and you said, staying on top of things, and then the next thing you said was being kinder to self,
Mm.
right? And then you said allowing yourself to be led by the Spirit, and it just kind of fits into what we've been talking about with the power of the comeback and listening to the gift and the pause, right? And those things. So,
Yep.
what is it that's whispering to Terry, and those things? What made you say that?
Yeah, just think about when you speak about someone who's been abused. I have been very fortunate to not have that experience personally,
Mm.
whether it was, growing up as a child or being in a marriage. There was never any physical abuse like that. But just imagine, and I have seen this before, a child being yelled at and scolded unnecessarily in public, and what that must be doing to his psyche at that moment and later when they don't learn to release that trauma.
Mm.
We do that to ourselves. Why is it not okay for that to be happening to someone else, but it's okay for it to happen to us by us?
Mm.
With this, even doubting ourselves, saying, "Oh, you look horrible in that outfit," or you when you don't go on a vacation, luxurious vacation. I just came back from a couple days in a beautiful hotel, just 20 minutes from where I live.
Wow.
Vacation, and
Yes,
just to get in that space where I can just think and write. And who's to say I didn't deserve that?
that's
But
right.
too often we tell ourselves that we don't deserve something, or that we should have been better at this, we should have made a better decision, we should have da 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 da. And all of that just adds up. You're just beating yourself up way too much. And as I said, life is only 5% of what happens and 95% of how you react to it.
Wow.
So
Wow.
we have to stop reacting so negatively to ourselves. You know, I'm the number one person that when I'm saying this, I'm saying it to myself first. So don't think I'm just out here ordering other people to do something that I am not working on a daily. You just have to stop and pause and think about what you've just said to yourself. And like when you hear road rage, isn't that the most childish thing? When you see two cars going down the street and they're fussing at each other and flipping the bird and stuff, it's like they're grown people acting like that. Well, again, uh, that kind of stuff is what we're doing to ourselves unbeknownst to us until we really stop and just speak kindly to ourselves, apologize to ourselves for denying us the wonders that we deserve, and the compliments. We deserve a compliment or two from ourselves. If we're not going to do it to ourselves, how we expect others to do it? So, yep, yep. Oh, and you're muted right now. Can't hear you. Yep, that just happens sometimes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was just saying, I'm taking notes here. You talk about 5%. What happens is 95% of how we react. I love
Yep.
that. And by doing some work on ourselves and being kind to ourselves, right? I've found that it really helps us learn to pause and then rather than lash out through reaction,
Mm-hmm.
respond in a loving and caring and thoughtful way. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the conversation changes itself.
Yeah.
So I love what you said there.
And just to give a real quick example, this is how you can learn to listen to that small voice by taking every little situation that happens throughout the day and rewiring it to see the positive in it. So here's what happened to me recently. I was working in Maryland and had the thought to just go ahead and get dressed very early for an event that we were going to. We were going to hear the governor of Maryland speak, and it was a huge networking event. And I'm an early riser anyway. I wake up. I'm not even going
Yeah,
to tell
you're
you.
early bird for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, my day starts at, it's typical to start at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. But I don't get up and get dressed at that hour, right? Because I'm working right away. And then if I'm going somewhere or getting on a meeting, then I get dressed. So this particular morning, though, I just thought, well, let me just get dressed early. And then I'll sit down and continue to work on my computer until I was being picked up. And I dressed. Had I not listened to that voice that said, put your outfit on now, I would have been rushed to um, rework a situation. So as I was sitting there working at the desk, I just stretched like this a bit, and I felt this pop. I had a back zipper on this dress. Boom, the whole zipper broke all the way down. It was a long zipper. Right away, which, I mean, I had time, right? Because it was only 5 a.m. instead of 8 a.m. when I was being picked up. And here's the big thing. I can't get mad. I couldn't get mad. It was a favorite dress of mine. You could fix the zipper. I should not get mad because thank goodness it happened at 5 a.m. in a hotel room instead of 10 a.m. in a whole room of
Yeah, you're on stage doing this, and now all of a sudden you're like,
I know. And it was a low back too. There's no way I could have even reached the top of the zipper. It would have been just absolutely crazy.
that's
So
action show maybe. So,
yeah, talk about
in the Super Bowl.
an outfit malfunction. Yeah, so it's like taking every little thing like that, every little situation. Why get mad? What harm? What use would that be except to waste time? You just readjust, but think about how fortunate that it happened then and not later. So that's how you can start rewiring to hear that small voice and know that you were directed. I was directed to get dressed early.
Yeah. It just doesn't happen, right? It's a voice greater than us that's leading us if we listen to it, Terry. That's I love that, and I had my friend. We were already time to go.
Just zips away.
So it's been so wonderful to have you here today, and as we wrap it up, and you giving your information out, how people can get a hold of you.
Yes.
So many things that I appreciate the daily rewire situations of practice and responding versus reacting, and then just exercising the brain muscle. I have this little image that I show sometimes where it's the brain, it's got arms and it's got dumbbells on each side, right? Yeah. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I will.
Yep. That's
because it's just such a different thing. It's such an important thing that we all have and change our lives. So what can you say is in a minute that we can leave this show with your message?
That you deserve all the happiness in the world. You deserve the wealth that you wish to have. You deserve the peace that you wish to have within your life, within your body. You deserve a body that is at ease and not disease. And it's a matter of just believing it, telling yourself, being kind to yourself, and then walking in that path, listening to that small voice who knows what's best.
Yeah, wow. What a way to close it. That's fantastic. I wrote down some stuff you deserve with wealth, happiness, peace, of body at ease, not disease. So Terri, listen. Thank you. Have a fabulous rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next episode. So, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Geoff. Take care.
Take care. Man, I tell you, I mean, what a gem, right? I mean, just pure, humble, gracious, powerful young lady coming to you today. So I go back and listen to this thing. I mean, there were so many things that she shared in there about the power of belief and listening to the voice and honoring your spirit, connecting your spirit. I mean, and as she closed this out, right, you know, with a rewire your day. So I challenge you to take a moment, you know, try it out for 7 days. I guarantee you, try this thing that she's talking about out for 7 days. I guarantee you one thing. You'll have a different feeling about yourself. I guarantee you one thing. You will want to do more of it because you will start to see it. People will see it in you. That's the magic in this behavior that we have. That's the power in making changes in itself. It's contagious. Other people want to be a part of that. And you know what? If they don't, you got to cut them loose, man. Stop hanging around folks that don't have any interest in being anything other than a nag and a drain and all that stuff around you. And I know it's difficult. And a lot of times it's family. I heard something today, and man, I write it down. Negativity is toxic to the wings that you want to use to fly, right? I mean, just toxic. So shake it off, baby. You deserve it. Terri said you deserve it. Remember, you deserve it. It's I can, I will, and I must. So I'll tell you, subscribe to this channel, share this message, reach out to Terri. I mean, the books that she's got, she's doing some things. And if you're looking for some other things, I'm sure she can help you with. And if you're really looking to be able to understand the power of the compact and get better at listening to the voice and get better at raising your level of expertise, whatever it might be, I encourage you to reach out to me. My information is in the chat. And as I wrap up, like always, there's no reason for you not to have the things you want in life. Begin to change that stinking thinking. Become aware of it. Do like Terri said. Go back and replace all that crap you said all day. And we'll see you on another episode of Conversations with Geoff. Take care. Appreciate everybody. Bye-bye.